Hello and welcome. My name is Carsten Lützen. I'm an agile coach and facilitator, and today I'll talk about the Fishbone Diagram or the Ishikawa Diagram. So the Fishbone Diagram was invented or made back in the 40s and was popularized by Kaoru Ishikawa. So that's also why it's called the Ishikawa Diagram. It's a cause and effect diagram, and you might think at first, but yeah, that doesn't really help us if we are in a complex environment. But often when we are working in a complex environment, we put constraints on our system, if you're familiar with Kinevin, and that moves it into a complicated problem space where we can use this, and it's actually pretty good. So the idea with the Fishbone Diagram is it helps us to figure out what are the underlying causes of a problem. So we start out with a problem statement as the head of this fish, and then we figure out what is this problem statement made out of. And it's important that we make this problem statement rather specific, so it's not like we're trying to fix the entire world, but a concrete specific event. Then we add bones, categories. Traditionally in production, they use something called 6M, which are 6 bones, but that doesn't really resonate that well if we're doing, for instance, software development. And the categories are not a given. It's not that you have to use these categories. So use the ones that make sense. I often have these categories: people, process, tools, environment, and knowledge in my head, and then we cluster it along the way. There might come category that we didn't think of in advance. And in a second, I will get back to why Fishbone and 5 Whys is a really good thing together. So what we start out by doing is we start to put our problem statement as the head of the fish. And in this one, we could just say that our releases are bad. But again, that's a bit of too broad, so we need to do a bit of refinement for why is it our release is bad? How can we see our release is bad? How do we experience that our release is bad? So we see that our releases are bad because they need a hot fix within 2 days. Then we write this more specific statement, this more specific problem statement that we would like to look into. Our releases needed hot fix within 2 days. Check. Then we add the spine and the tail. So imagine that I start putting these bones from the beginning, then I don't know how much space I will need when people start putting up sticky notes. So I would add them along the way instead. Then anyway, we have the problem statement at hand. Then ask everybody to individually and in silence write down what they see as the causes of this problem. Give them time, 5 minutes, maybe more. Just stay quiet, wait, and when people are ready, take turns presenting 1 or 2 of these sticky notes at a time and put them up here. Then, okay, so this sounds like it's a process fault. Check, then we add a bone called process and put it there. So I don't add categories on before I need it, because once I've drawn it, I can't really move it. And sometimes a category can become quite big, and that's completely fair and fine. It can also be that we add a category that we did not see something super specific. But again, don't add the categories just at the first sticky note. It might need some refinement along the way. When we have all the sticky notes up here and we have them clustered in the categories around the bones, we do some voting. So where is it we as a group of people think that the biggest value or the biggest change of this could happen? And then on these, we can start using the 5 why to dive into it. Why was it the process failed here? Why was it that the tools failed here? And as I also said in the 5 whys, don't make this a blame game. Humans are never the problem here. It is a process fault or a tools fault or a knowledgement fault. It's not a human error. So when we've done that, we can do as we normally do if we use this in a retrospective, right? We make some action point and then we follow up in two weeks time or how long our sprint is. So that is the Fishbone Diagram. And oh yeah, and of course we add the tail at the very last, just so it's a complete fishbone. Anywho, I'm super curious, do you also use the Fishbone Diagram? And do you have some good examples or good riffs? And please share, that would be awesome. And as always, if you have comments, questions, ideas, or feedback to these videos, please leave a comment or send me a message. That would be awesome. Yeah, that's it. Have a super awesome day.